Rat dissection. You've potentially picked up a sheet from your teacher at this point. If you haven't, there are a few items that you need to take care of. One of which is that you'll need to list some body systems and define some terms such as homeostasis and characteristics that all mammals have. Short of that though, there are some things that we want to show you today on the rat. And part of it is taking a look at directions. There is no top or bottom, left or right when it comes to the rat or when we do the dissections. What we want to be able to do is start to define terms of where things are, looking at the head versus the tail, the chest side versus the back side. The scientific terms for those would be that the head is called the cranial side, the tail is called the caudal side. In addition, there's another set of terms that describes those too. We have the anterior end of the rat and the posterior end of the rat. The front side, the chest side, is called the ventral side, and the back side is called the dorsal side. Just like a shark has a dorsal fin, the back side, the dorsal side. And this allows us to give more specific directions when we actually start cutting the rat open on the next day. Next, we need to figure out what the sex of your rat is. And the directions that you have on that sheet there tells you that the males have the testes, which are located cranial or anterior to the anus. Now, when we're looking for the anus, we're looking up right underneath the tail. In this case right here, we have the anus, and if we're going towards the anterior or cranial end, we're going to be moving towards the head, towards this direction. In this case, I don't see testes, so this is probably not a male. This one over here, though, if we separate the tail back, pull back, we can find the anus, and if we go cranial to the anus, we do find a pair of testes, so indeed this is a male rat. In addition, we've got the testes. On the outside would be the scrotum, and if I pull these feet back a little bit, this right here would be the penis. So we have some structures here that are obviously specifically male. For that female rat, again, the anus, and then anterior to the anus we have an opening here, and that opening, if I separate these feet out a little bit for you, this opening is called the vagina. The vagina has the urethra on the anterior end of the vagina, and in addition, we were asked today to figure out how many nipples the rat has. Now, on a female, it's going to be a little bit easier than a male. Males do have nipples though, and generally it's 10 nipples. There's an example of a nipple right here, if we can zoom in on that. They're easier to see on a pregnant female than they are on a non-pregnant female, but both male and females have nipples there. Some other items that are identified on that sheet, we have legs and feet and tails, and I don't know if that's terribly hard to figure out, but some other terms, scientific terms for the nostrils. We've got the external nares. We also have the teeth, and you read in there about how the teeth are worn down. They keep growing during the lifetime of the rat, but as the rat feeds, it wears those teeth down. The ears also have a scientific name. The ears are called pinnae, and the whiskers are called vibrissae. And what you are asked to think about is, why are the vibrissae called this? It has everything to do with the word vibrate. Think about how the rat might sense what's going on as this rat is awake, mostly at night. Outside of that, today we simply looked at the external features of the rat, and in later days we're going to start to dissect this rat open.